Wow. Straight up silence from the generals when Pete Hegseth introduces Donald Trump at the meeting this morning. In case you need some hope and encouragement, check this out. So much silence that even Donald Trump made a statement about it when he got up to the mic, stating he's never walked into a room that was so silent, and then goes on to tell people they can leave if they don't like what he's saying, but there goes their rank and their future.
Join me in welcoming the 45th and 47th President of the United States, our Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you very much, Pete. Great job you're doing, too. Fantastic job. I've never walked into a room so silent before. This is very... Oh, don't laugh. Don't laugh. You're not allowed to do that. You know what? Just have a good time. And if you want to applaud, you applaud. And if you want to do anything you want, you can do anything you want. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. Of course, there goes your rank.
That's embarrassing. And it really gives you a line into what those generals and admirals have going on in their brain. Apparently, it looks like they're just as tired as we are. Have a good day, guys.
It's a further effort to politicize the military. It's very, very alarming. There is no reason to bring all of these people at enormous taxpayer expense to Washington to get a pep talk.
Hegseth told the audience they could disagree with him, but...
The words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Emotional damage.
Please understand the point of view of a senior U.S. military leader who got called to this meeting in Quantico that just happened. You got pulled out of your job, some of these in combat commands, to sit in a meeting in a photo op that was live streamed and could have been an email. And the people you got yanked across the world to listen to included people like Hegseth, who has a series of sexual assault allegations, domestic abuse allegations, financial mismanagement, leaked classified information that threatened the lives of soldiers, and then just recently made sure that a number of individuals who massacred hundreds of men, women, and children unarmed at Wounded Knee were going to get their medals.
Holy look at all this damage.
And then he was followed by the President of the United States, an individual who is at the center of a PDF network investigation that is actively getting the Republican Party to cover for him, who has on numerous occasions slandered the U.S. military, losers and suckers, calling POWs weak because they got captured, destroying Veterans Affairs and the care for veterans, saying he didn't want to be around disabled veterans, attacking Gold Star families, families of men and women who have died in service to this country, fighting staff members at Arlington so he could get a photo op. This was last year. Getting soldiers to roll out the red carpet on their hands and knees for Vladimir Putin.
What did he say?
Taking the opportunity to have a parade sponsored by an energy drink and UFC for the Army's 250th birthday. Absolutely disgracing them. And what did they have to tell you when you came all that way, right? They said, if you don't like what I'm saying, then you can leave. Were never there for you in the first place. They were never there for the previous guy. They're there for the country and the Constitution and the men and women sitting next to them. That's who they're fucking there for.
Wait a minute.
To provide training for a quick reaction force that can help quell civil disturbances. This is going to be a big thing for the people in this room because it's the enemy from within.
That was Donald Trump today in front of 800 military leaders, silent. That silence is important. I'll get to that later. Telling them that they're going to have to attack American civilians on American soil. Calling those civilians the enemy from within. You know, I'm the enemy from within. If you're watching this, you're probably the enemy from within too. What Donald Trump asked those military leaders to do is shred the Constitution, violate their oath to honor the Constitution. No wonder they weren't clapping. Pete Hegseth also spoke at this meeting. What did he want?
We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement.
Those stupid rules of engagement, they have a name. They're called the Geneva Conventions. We've signed on to them again and again and again. Why? Because we've committed ourselves to not committing war crimes. No wonder the military sat silent. What is Trump demanding of his military? Let's be honest, war on the streets. He calls it war on our own. He wants to use it to stifle dissent, to stifle me, probably you too. What is Hegseth demanding? Clean shaven, mostly for racial, talk to black men about beards, and religious, talk to non-Christian men about beards. Reasons to be trained like pit bulls with arms to commit war crimes. Do you want that? I didn't think so. What Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth promoted to its military today was a military state that stifles dissent through its military and abroad is reviled by the rest of the world for its barbarism. There are two things standing in the way of Trump and Hegseth's dictator dreams. One is the military that they address today. Will they violate their oath? Their silence today gives me a little bit of hope that they won't. And two, us, will we stand in the way through mass demonstrations? There's going to be one October 18th, through mass strikes if necessary, through mass civil disobedience if necessary. That's how other countries beat back dictatorships. We have an emerging dictatorship. Are we ready? I am. I hope you are too.
It's Tuesday night, and here's what happened. President Trump and the Secretary of War gave a truly humiliating speech today to 800 members of the military's top brass. And while I'm not going to play the clips or recap it for you because plenty of other people can do that, I can tell you what the reaction was. While it was happening, the people responsible for taking notes were freaking out because Pete Hegseth kept contradicting themselves, and the official note takers cannot publish it's okay to do war crimes and haze recruits. In Donald Trump's speech, again, a lot of confusion because they are not sure what is fit to publish. They can't publish that the commander-in-chief said, why don't we use liberal-run cities for target practice? And that we need to quell the enemy from within and that we are at war with ourselves in certain American cities. The only thing that matters from today is that the people in that room did not clap. They did not clap. They did not affirm what they heard. And for folks saying, well, because they're not supposed to clap, they clapped for General Kane when he came out. They clapped for him when he came out and when he left. They did not clap for Hegseth or Trump. Trump went so far as to say, it's okay to clap if you want to clap. I've never heard a room so silent. And then told them they're not allowed to laugh at him. Let me read you the reaction from somebody who's active duty military right now, who I have great respect for and who is very high up in the ranks. He says, this meeting that SecDef War is holding with flag officers is an absolute waste of time and it's professionally insulting. This is battalion level nonsense, the kind of thing a sergeant major handles after formation when he holds the senior NCOs back to address them. It's amateur hour. It's far below the pay grade of SecDef. His focus should be up and out, not down and into the weeds on petty issues. If these issues are that important to him, send an email. Don't pull flag officers, warriors with decades of combat command and specialized training into a room just so you can grandstand about what it means to be a warrior. These are men and women who've spent more time in chow halls at schoolhouses studying the art of killing nations than this man has spent in uniform. I don't think we showed strength today. Pete Hegseth's obsession with aesthetics is something that they do in North Korea. They can't actually fight and win a war, but they sure do look good goose marching. Aesthetics does not inspire confidence in our allies around the world. And the thing I hate more than anything in the world is when people pity me, when they give you that look of right after this whole shit show wrapped up, I had a meeting with some people who are in the EU, and I was telling them how humiliated I was by what happened, and they were like, And then other people reminded me that, while this was bad, the looming shutdown because of Republicans' inability to govern is probably going to be worse. And one more thing, while we're on the topic of the stupidest things I've heard today, you can't deport Bad Bunny. He's an American citizen. He's Puerto Rican. Puerto Ricans are American citizens. If you're not going to watch it, no me importa. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Puerto Ricans are citizens.
Donald Trump is getting mocked by the very generals and admirals that attended today's disaster of a meeting. Now, if you missed it this morning, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth called together all of the top military leaders to have a little campaign rally of sorts and try to get them on their side. They were looking for applause and admiration from the military leaders, and instead they got silence and ridicule. Now, after the meeting, many of them spoke to the press, many of the leaders, of course anonymously, and this is what they had to say. More like a press conference than a briefing of the generals. Could have been an email. And the worst yet, not quite a loyalty test, but on the spectrum of loyalty to ideology. Total waste of money. That is the response that Donald Trump got. And instead, what he was looking for was for them to cheer for him. In fact, he even said that they could applaud if they wanted to, thinking that when he would say, hey, we're going to go into our towns and our cities, and it's going to be your responsibility, that they would say, yeah, go Donald Trump. Instead, he's getting mocked. What an embarrassment.
So this is the kind of stuff that Trump wants with this military meeting, is these kind of images of him standing in front of a bunch of generals, which he will widely distribute to everybody, saying he has total control of the military and they'll do whatever he wants because it's a fear game, right? He'll have them stand there. He'll probably order them to stand up for the photo. He'll probably order them, hey, start clapping for the photo, because it won't be about anything he said. That 1 hour meeting with Hegseth, that just turned into like a 3-hour attack on wokeism and the radical left and anti-fascist. So think about this. He's going to tell an entire military that's built off of being anti-fascist that anti-fascist Antifa are the enemy.
Today, Trump said some really concerning, and I'd like you to listen. Today, at the meeting with top military leaders, Trump said, you know, our inner cities, which we'll be talking about because it's a big part of war now, a big part of war. And then he continued to tell the military, we should use Democrat cities as training ground for war. Those are not stray words, that is a blueprint. Saying that our own cities and our neighborhoods are a part of war and proposing to use cities that vote differently as training grounds is indistinguishable from preparing the military to operate against American citizens. And the U.S. military exists to defend the Constitution, not to be turned into a political instrument aimed at opponents. And if you're ignoring this, I hope you know it's just not going to get magically better. We have had so many warning signs, and Trump just keeps going. This is me telling you right now, use your First Amendment while we still have it. Go protest. There's a No King's Day, October 18th. I will be going. You should go too.
I just watched Donald Trump's speech in front of the nation's top military generals, and let me tell you, it was completely insane. I made a list of all the crazy shit he said, and I'm going to share them with you. Buckle up, it's a long list. He started off by saying that there are 2 N-words, and he's been told he shouldn't use either of them.
What?
That's not what the people said, though, on The Apprentice. He then claimed that firefighters in inner cities are being shot at while they climb ladders. I call Biden the auto pen. I have a beautiful signature. Everybody loves my signature. Nobody likes Biden's signature. I personally stopped the India and Pakistan war, and everyone is saying that I saved millions of lives and that I should win the Nobel Peace Prize, but they'll probably give it to some guy who writes a book trashing Trump.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
Tariffs are my favorite word. Better than love, better than God, better than religion. Did you know that aluminum melts when a missile is 2 miles away from it? Did you know that I was the 45th, the 46th, and the 47th president? I am so proud to announce that we're spending $1 trillion on the military. Canada should and must become our 51st state. You know, we won the entire country in the election. We only lost a few little strips on the coast. And even that, we the Republicans are gonna win soon.
What did he say?
The military's job is actually to defend the homeland, even though I renamed it to the Department of War. And the name the Department of War alone is going to stop a lot of wars. Did you know that the Congo is opening up its prisons and they were dumping in all of their prisoners here into the United States from Congo? And did you know that ICE are patriots that are cleaning the trash out of this country?
Wait a minute.
I tell the soldiers in my military, if they spit on you, you should hit them. And if they throw anything at a car, you can get out of the car and do absolutely anything you want to them.
This is Sparta!
Did you know that every boat from Venezuela kills 25,000 Americans? But now people in Venezuela, well, they're scared to even go fishing.
Okay.
All protesters on the left are paid by George Soros and other people. I am so ashamed of Putin. He should have won that war with Ukraine in a week. So disappointed.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
I tell him he's a paper tiger. And did you know that they call me the president of NATO? Did you know that there hasn't been a single crime in Washington in forever? And that anyone who's ever committed a crime is bad, and no matter what you do, they were born that way. They'll always be bad. I always say we have the best and strongest military. Biden never said we had a great military. I say it all the time. You know, I had zero respect for President Obama, but man, Obama was amazing at going downstairs.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Now, this was a 3-minute video of crazy things. This video could have been 15 minutes. The entire thing, the hour and 10 minutes was all crazy. And let me mind you that all of this madness, all of this stupidity was in front of our top military generals. Donald Trump is an absolute embarrassment to this nation.
We got a big problem, guys. I made a video last night stating that we had reached August 2nd, 1934 in our historical parallel with Nazi Germany. And basically, the Hitler's Oath. Go watch the video if you haven't seen it. We're there, okay? Donald Trump was leaving the White House this morning, and he told reporters that if he doesn't like any of those military people, he will fire them on the spot. Fire them on the spot. I was hoping that I was wrong when I made the video. I was trying to prepare you guys, even though I might be wrong and speculate, but we're there, okay? We are there. Telling people that he's gonna fire high-ranking military officials on the spot if they don't agree with him, that's unconstitutional, okay? That he is building a Gestapo and his own personal military. Wake up. Okay? By the time you clowns with your head in the sand realize we're there, it's fucking late. Okay? We're like 75% there. The only thing missing is blatant execution and genocide on national TV for the United States to see. Like, do we need that to be happening for you guys to be like, this is bad? Wake up, okay? We are following a historical parallel. And if you don't know your history, go read it, because it might save your life.
We now know what Trump and Hegseth's meeting of the generals was all about, and it's about them declaring war on American cities. That's right, they want to declare war and wage war in our inner cities in America. This is what Trump said. He even suggested using our cities as training for the military in war. If you are not understanding this yet, Trump wants to use our military against us, the people of America. He said that inner cities are a big part of war now. A big part of war. That's what Trump said. If this doesn't disturb you, I don't know what will. This should be upsetting to every single American in this country. Never in the history of this country has a president openly declared war on Americans and American cities. He even started off his speech to the generals and admirals by saying, if you don't like what you're hearing here, you can leave and you'll lose your rank and you'll lose your future. Now, this ass clown is still going on with his speech, so we'll see what else gets said, if anything else like this crazy shit is said. But I hope our military stands strong and defends our Constitution that they swore an oath to all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Hey y'all, so today Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump addressed the leaders of the military, and I'm just going to put it flat out there. Pete Hegseth wants a white, fit, male military. In addition, Donald Trump made statements that he is sending the military into Portland, Oregon, and into Chicago, and he basically told them, you know, we're sending you out there. We're going to try this out and see how it works, and to get you some civil training. And basically, if anybody throws a brick at you, you can do whatever you want to them. The bottom line is that is also illegal. You cannot put the military on the citizens and the people of the United States. And y'all need to stand up and do something. I mean, I've literally seen military people, making statements about how, this is so much for us, it's so much for our family. Well, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? And then we got, Senator Duckworth. She's over here saying that, Pete Hegseth needs to resign. Man, he's not gonna resign. I so appreciate you saying that, but the reality is, your cronies in the Senate and Congress should not have confirmed this man. Y'all confirmed somebody who didn't even make it past captain to run the damn military. A guy that couldn't make it past captain is running generals, admirals, and all these people. Y'all did that. So instead of coming to us or going to him and telling him to resign, why don't you give it your cronies, and why don't y'all get his ass out of here? Because he ain't gonna resign. And y'all did this. So fix your mess.